And I guess that's how organizations like the Gates Foundation can approach this, right? Because they have the resources to, give a smaller amount of grant funding to multiple different pivot points that can help solve a problem through multiple fronts. Tell us a little bit more about your work with the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation. That must be really, really enriching for you.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's great to work with an organization that has these kinds of resources that's
I'm sure.
interested in kind of making this kind of social impact. And part of our work with them is really emphasizing student voice throughout the processes that we're involved in. So a lot of the work that we do helps to inform their investment strategies. And this is a really interesting place when it comes to design, because it's not necessarily kind of designing end products like for people to use, as I was mentioning before. It is oriented around like, okay, where can we kind of direct interventions? Where can we direct funding so that we can make change? And our job is to ensure that students are involved in that process. So it's really empowering for students. And we work all the way from pre-K all the way up to post-secondary. And so, for example, when we're working with the Gates Foundation on post-secondary based projects, it's really super interesting for college students to be kind of involved and help us to kind of determine where kind of the insights around their experiences that can then inform investment. So it's interesting because I think it's a little bit different than traditional forms of research, because we look at it as really participatory design, not just extracting people's kind of context and understanding where their frustrations are, but also involving them in kind of like, what do you think should be funded? What do you think, where do you think money should go to improve your experience? And it's really great because the foundation is also really equity focused in terms of investing in improving outcomes for Black and Latino students in the American school system, for example. And so engaging those students in those demographics in this process can be a really great reciprocal experience for them. And that's primarily our focus, is really like thinking about like, how can students really be part of this process from beginning to end? And how can we use kind of design research in a way that emphasizes that and involves them within kind of not just the design of products and services at the end of the day, but the design of investment and resources and where those things go.
Well, if you're going to make stakeholder engagement one of the significant components of achieving great outcomes in education, you better make one of those stakeholder groups the students. So that
Right.
makes perfect sense. And certainly students from under-resourced and underrepresented communities, giving them a particularly strong voice sounds like a recipe for success. Our guest has been Sheryl Cababa. She's the Chief Design Officer at Substantial. You can find out more about her work by visiting substantial.com/edtech.